The Great Chelsea Clear-Out, why 16 players are heading for the exit this summer. Picture this, you walk into Stamford Bridge next season and half the faces you know are gone. Sound crazy? Well, it might just happen. Chelsea are reportedly ready to sell 16 players this summer, and the total value could reach a massive €348 million. But why is this happening, and what does it mean for the Blues? The big picture, what's really going on at Chelsea? Let's be honest, Chelsea's squad is huge. Too huge, some might say. With so many players on the books, it's becoming impossible to keep everyone happy. Some players barely get a chance to play, while others are earning big wages sitting on the bench. This summer clear-out isn't just about making money, it's about making sense. The club needs to follow financial fair play rules, which basically means they can't spend way more than they earn. With all these players and their wages, Chelsea are feeling the pressure. So what's the solution? Sell players to balance the books and create space for new signings. The €348 million question, who's going and why? The list of players reportedly up for sale reads like a who's who of talent. But each player has their own story about why they might be leaving. The big money moves. At the top of the list sits Noni Madueke, valued at €40 million. The 23-year-old winger has shown flashes of brilliance but hasn't quite nailed down a regular starting spot. Is it better for both him and Chelsea if he moves on to get regular game time elsewhere? Christopher Nkunku follows closely at €35 million. The French striker arrived with high hopes but injuries have limited his impact. At 27, he's at the perfect age to make a big move, but will Chelsea really let such a talented player go? Malo Gusto, also valued at €35 million, represents a different kind of decision. The 22-year-old right-back has potential, but with competition for places fierce, could a sale make business sense? The squad players looking for more. Trevoh Chalobah's situation tells a common story at big clubs. The 25-year-old defender came through Chelsea's academy and has shown he can play at this level. But with limited opportunities, wouldn't it be better for his career to move somewhere he'd be a guaranteed starter? Wesley Fofana, valued at €25 million, has dealt with injury problems since joining Chelsea. At 24, he still has time to rebuild his career, but will it be at Stamford Bridge or somewhere else? The experience factor. Some older players on the list face different challenges. Raheem Sterling, at 30 and valued at €10 million, was once one of England's brightest stars. But football moves fast, and younger players are taking his spot. Could a move revive his career? Ben Chilwell presents another interesting case. The 28-year-old left-back has been a key player when fit, but injuries have disrupted his progress. With a valuation of €18 million, he could be a bargain for the right club. What does this mean for Chelsea fans? If you're a Chelsea supporter, you might be feeling mixed emotions right now. On one hand, seeing so many players potentially leave can feel unsettling. These are players you've cheered for, hoped would succeed, and maybe even bought their shirts. But here's another way to look at it, this could be exactly what Chelsea needs. How many times have you watched a match and thought, why isn't that player getting a chance? Or we have too many players for that position? This clear-out could solve those problems. Think about it, would you rather have 30 players where 15 are unhappy, or 20 players who all believe they can fight for a starting spot? The math is pretty simple. The financial reality check. Let's talk numbers for a moment. A potential €348 million from player sales is serious money. That could fund 2 or 3 top-class signings, or it could help Chelsea comply with financial rules while keeping their best players. But here's the thing about transfer valuations, they're not guarantees. Just because a player is valued at €25 million doesn't mean a club will pay that much. Transfer negotiations are complicated, and clubs will try to get the best deals possible. Some of these players might go for less than their estimated value, especially if they're eager to leave or if their contracts are running down. Others might surprise everyone and fetch more than expected if multiple clubs start a bidding war. The domino effect, how will this change everything? When so many players potentially leave, it creates a ripple effect throughout the squad. Suddenly, players who thought they might be sold could find themselves with new opportunities. Young academy players might get their chance to step up. The whole dynamic of the team could change. For the players staying, this could be great news. Less competition for places, more chances to impress, and a clearer path to regular football. But it also means more pressure, there's nowhere to hide when the squad is smaller. What about the fans' favorites? Looking at this list, some fans will be heartbroken to see certain names. Maybe you've always believed Christopher Nkunku could be the answer to Chelsea's striker problems. Perhaps you think Malo Gusto has the potential to be the club's right back for the next decade. It's natural to feel attached to players, especially those who came through the academy like Trevoh Chalobah. But sometimes what's best for the player and what's best for the club align, even if it means saying goodbye. The question is, would you rather see these players struggle for game time at Chelsea, or would you prefer they find success elsewhere while Chelsea builds a more balanced squad? The biggest strategy: building for the future. This potential mass exodus isn't just about solving immediate problems, it's about setting Chelsea up for the future. Modern football is about having a squad where everyone has a role and everyone believes they can contribute. By moving on players who don't fit the current system or who aren't getting enough opportunities, Chelsea can create space for new signings who better match their tactical plans. They can also give chances to younger players who might become the stars of tomorrow. The timeline: when will we know more? Transfer windows are like slow-motion soap operas. We might know about interest in these players, but actual deals take time. Some moves might happen quickly if clubs meet asking prices. Others could drag on all summer as negotiations continue. The key dates to watch are when pre-season training starts and when the new Premier League season begins. Players want their futures sorted before then, and clubs want their squads finalized. What this means for different types of fans. If you're a fan who loves following youth development, this could be exciting news. More opportunities for academy players mean you might see the next Mason Mount or Reece James get their breakthrough chance. If you prefer established stars, you might worry about losing proven quality. But remember, the money from these sales could fund moves for players who are better fits for the current system. For fans who just want to see Chelsea win trophies, this could be exactly what's needed. A smaller, more focused squad with clear roles for everyone might be more effective than a large group where many players are unhappy. The questions that need answers. As this transfer window unfolds, several key questions will determine how successful this strategy becomes. Will Chelsea actually find buyers for all these players at the prices they want? The transfer market can be unpredictable, and not every club has money to spend. How will the remaining players adapt to potentially much more responsibility? Some players thrive under pressure, while others struggle when they can't afford to have bad games. Can Chelsea find adequate replacements if they sell too many players in key positions? There's a difference between trimming the squad and leaving yourself short of options. Will the fans accept this level of change, especially if some popular players are sold? Football is an emotional game, and supporters invest heavily in individual players. Looking ahead, what success looks like. If this clear-out works as planned, we should see a Chelsea squad where every player has a clear role and genuine opportunities to play. Training should be more competitive because there are fewer players fighting for each position, but the competition should be healthier. The financial benefits should allow Chelsea to comply with regulations while still investing in areas where they need to improve. Instead of having money tied up in players who rarely play, they can focus their resources on their best talents and most promising prospects. Most importantly, this could create a better culture around the club. Players should be happier because they have clearer paths to playing time. Managers should find it easier to work with a more manageable squad size. The bottom line for Chelsea fans. Change is never easy, especially when it involves potentially losing 16 players in one summer. But sometimes change is exactly what's needed to move forward. Chelsea have been dealing with squad size issues for several seasons now, and this summer could finally provide the solution. The success of this strategy won't be measured just in the money received for these players, but in how the remaining squad performs and develops. If Chelsea can create a more balanced, focused team while also improving their financial position, this summer clear-out could be remembered as the turning point that set the club up for future success. For now, all we can do is wait and see which of these 16 players actually leave, where they go, and how Chelsea use the space and money created by their departures. One thing's for certain, it's going to be a very interesting summer at Stamford Bridge. The question that remains is simple: are you ready for a very different-looking Chelsea squad come August? Because if these reports are accurate, that's exactly what we're going to get.